everybody, it's Seaweed Snail, and yes, I have a wet hair because I'm afraid that if I'm going to wait until my hair dries, the sun is going to leave us. It's 10 AM, but it looks like rain is coming, so I need to get going. So today I want to tell you the story about the most haunted... I'm sorry, I hate the feeling of wet hair touching my face. So today I'm going to tell you the story about the most haunted forest in Poland, and it so happened to be the forest that I spent a lot of my childhood in because my grandmother lived there, and I have a lot of uncles, I have a lot of aunts, a lot of cousins, so every single summer when I was a child I spent there. I know it's shocking, I'm not a child anymore, I look like I'm 12, but I am not, I'm actually almost 23. Yeah. So, today I want to tell you the stories from general public, so what are the stories that you can hear about those places, not so much my personal stories and stories from my family. I think I will record another video with my own stories and stories from my family. And today I am just going to tell you the stories that you can hear about this place. So it's Puszcza Kempinowska. It's one of the biggest forests in Poland. It's a national park. Yeah, English slowly leaving my brain today. It's a national park and it's really beautiful. There are a lot of old trees, a lot of animals, a lot of birds. You can see a lot of endangered animals there, and it's a place where whispers live. So yeah, it's really pretty, and there are a lot. And if you can visit it, I strongly recommend it because it's so peaceful. It's amazing and I love it there. But it wasn't always so peaceful. So back in World War II, so this place is really close to Warsaw. I think it's like 30 kilometers away or something. It's really close to Warsaw, to the capital of Poland. So during World War II, a lot of battles, a lot of fights actually took place there, to the point that if you knew the right spots, you can just bend down and do this to the ground and find weapons and find some ammunition. Yeah, and my father told me that when he was a child, he and his cousins, my uncles, they used to go there and play with ammunition that they found in the forest. And they got their asses whooped a lot of times. So where was I? I forgot. So I forgot. So a lot of battles took place there, and this is also the place where Germans. There's a place called Palmyra. It's a village. It used to be a village, now it's just a cemetery. So they took people from neighboring villages, and those weren't soldiers, those were women, those were children, mothers, daughters, also men, farmers, regular people. And they took them to Palmyra and they told them to dig holes, and then they started to shoot those people, and they killed those people, and they buried them in graves that those people dig themselves. And later they started to transport people from Warsaw and other neighboring towns, and they started to do the same thing to regular people. A lot of Polish athletes are buried there now. A lot of professors, a lot of artists. They were just killing people, and they were just transporting people there telling them to dig their own graves and shooting them in the head. So now Palmyra is just it's not a village anymore. It's a cemetery, and there's also a museum when you can see there are I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional, but this museum, on the walls outside of the museum there are bullet holes. There are holes that look like bullet holes, and every hole represents one person that was killed there. And in the museum there is a list of those people that's just placed repeatedly with names of those people. And there were children. It's so heartbreaking, hard to talk about. And you can see in this museum things that were found alongside the bodies when they were later exhuming them. And Palmyra, it's not the only place like that in this forest. There were singular... I'm sorry that I'm laughing, but when I talk about things that are uncomfortable for me, I just tend to laugh. It's my coping mechanism, and I cannot stop this. I'm sorry. So yeah, there's a lot of singular graves in this forest when the same thing was done to people, but not everybody was found. Not every single grave in the forest was found. So there are places that you walk over graves, but you don't really notice. So that's that. There were also a lot of battles that took place, so a lot of Polish and German soldiers lost their lives there. So that's why this place is so incredibly haunted. So the place that is mostly well known for... I'm sorry, that just my hair, I was thinking, whatever. So the place that is the most well known from being haunted, it's a road called Duchna Droga. It is, you can translate that name to English as Ghost Road, but Duchna Droga is a place that was supposedly haunted even before World War II. But after the war, a lot of things started to happen there. So the most famous thing that you can see on Duchna Droga are those white lights that you can see in the forest. And those lights in Polish folklore are called zwodniki. So when you... or błędne ogniki. So when you see those white lights in the forest, and when you start to follow them, they're going to lead you far and far into the forest, and you're gonna get lost. And what those lights want to do? They want you to get lost and die in the forest. And that's the story that you could hear even before the war about those błędne ogniki or zwodniki. And I've seen Polish ghost hunters who were there. I saw the video, and they decided to follow those white lights. You can see them on videos, and they decided to follow those lights. And the thing is, when you are on Duchna Droga, this is a dirt road, so it looks like it is incredibly dry in the area. But when you follow those lights, they lead you to the swamps. So that's the story of that. Also on Duchna Droga, you can see ghosts of nuns. Near that place there is Laski school for blind children, and that school is run by nuns, so there are stories that the nuns who died in that school are now haunting those roads. You can also see a black dog without its head, supposedly. You can also hear marching soldiers, and some people say that you can see a little girl walking across the road, and she will stop in the middle of that road, look at you, and then go straight to the forest. There is a road that, in my opinion, is a lot more haunted than Duchna Droga. Is the road that leads from the villages to Palmyra. It's the road that Germans were, well, taking those people to be slaughtered in the forest. So on that road, even in the day, you can hear people talking, and you can see those people on that road. But the thing is, they are not going towards Palmyra, so toward that cemetery. They are going back to the villages. So they didn't stay there. They went back home. And I've seen a lot of people who are trying to ghost hunt in the Palmyra, and it's not haunted at all. I have never heard anybody speaking about a single ghost encounter there, because it looks like everybody just went home. They didn't stay there. They didn't want to stay there, and they just went home. So it's one of those cemeteries that it's one of those not only cemeteries but places where people got killed that I would have no problem to go there at night. I was there several times during the day, and it's heavy when you know the history, of course, but it doesn't feel haunted at all. It's really peaceful, despite everything that happened there, and I think that I like to believe that those people just went back home. They didn't stay there. So, there is a road. So, in the village that I grew up, there is a battlefield. There was a big battle, and there is a battlefield when Polish soldiers were fighting with German soldiers. And it so happens to be my aunt's meadow right now. So in the moment when you go there, on the road, okay, so it's look like that. There is my aunt's house, there is a road, and there is this meadow. So when you go on that road, and don't worry, there are like 2 cars that running that road per day, so you're not gonna get run over. So when you go there after sunset, but before the night hits, you know those gray hours, oh my god, English left me. You know this great gray hour after the sunset, but before the night. I think it's called dusk, but I am not sure, because when I checked in the dictionary, everything that the dictionary could offer me was sunset, and I don't mean sunset. So after the sunset, but before the night, when you go there, you can see soldiers in the uniforms from World War II, both Polish and German soldiers, running across the street. And it is so incredibly hunting, and my mother told me that she herself saw those soldiers. Then the forest is haunted, as I told you, and it doesn't even need to be night. When you go there with your eyes open, with your ears open, you can hear people talking. You can hear people talking, you can hear them, and you can say that those people are not from our times, because I don't know about English, but Polish involved from the times that there was war, and they are using words that are not really being used right now, so you can hear them talking. You can hear mothers telling to each other that their child don't want to eat. You can hear a girl telling somebody that she has a crush on that boy, and it's just sometimes you can see somebody out of the corner of your eye, and yeah, it's really haunting. There is this place in the forest when there are the stones. So there is one big stone in the middle and there are smaller stones around it. So that's the place when Polish partisans blew up German tank and the whole crew was killed. So the big stone represents the tank and the smaller stones represent German soldiers who were killed that day. So I was there only once. My father took me there only once, and at the time when I went there I didn't knew that story. I was told it after we went back home. So when I went there I got incredibly dizzy and it was really weird. I felt like my migraine was about to start, so I got those hurting eyes, I got dizzy, I felt chills. It was really, I felt like I couldn't breathe. It was really weird. It was really haunting feeling. And as soon as we left, everything went back to normal. Like nothing never ever happened. So yeah, and people who go there report not only the fact that they get dizzy and they feel those weird feelings, some people feel their flesh burning on them. Some people also report that when they are there, they can see those shadowy figures and they can hear people screaming in German. So yeah. So those are the most common ghost stories from Puszcza Kępinowska. I know that so those are the most well-known stories about Puszcza Kępinowska and about ghosts that haunt this place. And if you want to hear my own personal stories, well, not only mine, but also stories from my family, because not only my family didn't only had encounters with ghosts in the forest or with the ghosts of soldiers or people who were killed there, but also I mean our own personal ghosts that are haunting this place, people from my family who died there. Just let me know and I can make that happen. So yeah.